Hi, I'm Paul Skidmore, and I'm an author and filmmaker. And I've been experimenting with a lot of the new AI tools, like a lot of people have. And while I don't really want to use it for a lot of my creative stuff, I do use it for some creative things, but I don't want to use it for the things that I like doing. But there are some things that it really does help me with that are sort of in a more non-creative capacity. So if you're a creative person like me, especially a creative solopreneur, so one person studio, or maybe you run a very small business, if you're like me, you can really envision a project and see everything that it's going to take to get it done. And you're probably also great at locking in on a specific detail or task and getting into a flow state and doing a really good job with that. But if you're also like me, then you're probably not great at the stuff in the middle. And so I made an executive assistant just in a ChatGPT project to help me with that. And so basically, the project that I designed and tweaked and worked on over a little over a year is named Beatrice. She's named after Dante's Guide to Paradise because I thought, hey, I want to create sort of a fictional character that's going to help me plan my day, someone who's going to lead me toward a life that's maybe a little closer to paradise than it is now. And so I thought Beatrice would be a good person to lead me to do that. And so just like the Beatrice of the Paradiso, Beatrice will help me see the things that are already around me, the things that I need to do. She'll help me set order to them by planning my day and creating an itinerary for the day or for the week. And then she will help me ascend. She'll help me lift my mindset and have a more positive outlook about my vision and think about things more positively and with gratitude and things like that. And so I've been using Beatrice now for over a year. It occurred to me if it's really helping me, it might be something that helps other people. So I have released her into the wild, so to speak, as the Beatrice System. And you can go to thebeatricesystem.com and it'll take you right over to the page on my site, parabolos.com, where you can read about the Beatrice System and you can get an introductory price of $19 for a very short time. So if you want to jump on to the website and get a copy of it, it's only $19 right now. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to demo it for you just a little bit. So the system works really well, and I think I've done some other videos about the system itself. But what's new in the paid product is that there's a week of onboarding, and it helps you get up and running, it introduces you to things a little at a time so that the whole system isn't overwhelming, and it helps you personalize it in whatever way that you like. Now, this is primarily because it's made for me. It's primarily made for people of sort of a creative mindset who are managing lots of creative projects. But I think it could work with anybody that's running a small business or maybe a small nonprofit or something like that. Maybe a real estate agent, somebody who is, in charge of their own time, has a lot of, um, pots in the stove, so to speak, and wants to be able to sort of keep track of things and make sure that things are progressing day to day, week to week. Also, because it's made for someone like me, it does have a component of faith when it comes to some of the positive mindset stuff. Now, as part of the customization, I've tried to make it where you can remove those things, you can edit those things. But for me, it works. If you're a person of faith, you may find that it's something that works for you. If you're uncomfortable mixing things of faith with your AI stuff, I understand that completely. But for me, it works. And for me, it's very helpful. And, it's just a robot telling me the things I've asked it to tell me. So I'm not delusional into thinking that I'm speaking to a human being or that it's in some way um, in charge of my spiritual life or something like that. But it does remind me to do things on my own. And for me, that's important. Not because I don't know to do them, but when you keep seeing it pop up, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you said you were going to do this. Have you done this? It just over time, you eventually will respond by doing it before you're even asked. And it's just called discipline. And the reward of discipline is disciple. And so I'm trying to learn to be a better disciple of the things that I have faith in. And this is a tool that's helping me. That's all. And maybe it'll help you. And if not, you can take that part out. It's okay. So the onboarding process is super easy. When you purchase the Beatrice system, you'll get a zip file. You'll open it up. and you'll see a few things in that folder, but the first one is a PDF that gives you 3 quick steps. It's a PDF called Start Here, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get up and running. So I'm just going to load up the PDF, and I guess I should make it so that you could see the PDF. I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? I should have done that before logging on here. Let me shrink this up a little bit. And let's see, we'll add a screen here, macOS screen capture. We'll call this PDF, and OK. And we will pick a application capture and do preview. And we'll say OK. And I'll get the PDF here where we can see it. That's good. I need to go this way. And there you go. There's the PDF. So this is the PDF that you'll get. There's actually 2 PDFs. One is a 93-page user manual that goes through everything in detail and contains all of the prompts so you can copy paste or whatever you want just out of that one PDF. But you will get all the prompts that you need as separate markdown files. They're organized in a folder, and the system will walk you through where to put them and when to put them there. But the Start Here is really the thing that we're going to start with. So it just says, welcome. It gives you a recommendation to read the first 4 sections of the user guide. They're very short, but they sort of let you know what the thing's about and how it's going to work, and then it tells you what the other sections are, just so you know what's in the user guide. It's mostly there for you as a reference. If for some reason you don't understand these instructions, I've written them very simply, which means they're not detailed. So if you don't know how to create a project in ChatGPT or something like that, then you need to go to section 5.1 where there's a little more detailed instructions. I should also say that if you don't have ChatGPT Plus, which is like the $20 a month deal, I think you may find it difficult to use this. You can kind of work around it by copying and pasting the text into the chat, but basically with the free version of ChatGPT, you get 1 chat a day or 1 chat per so many hours with an attachment. And there's so much here that reads files out of your sources, out of your project sources, and those all count as attachments. And also when it's reading and writing to Notion for you, that also I think counts as an attachment. So it just really limits you in what you're able to do, and it'll just essentially lock you out of the chat for hours. So the limitations on the free plan I think are pretty restrictive. I don't know anybody with a Go plan, so if you have ChatGPT Go and you'd like to give this a try, let me know, and I can walk you through a little bit of this so we can kind of see what it's going to be like. But if you have ChatGPT Plus, you're good to go, no problems, or even better if you have Pro, but Plus is enough. Before I continue, I should say I designed this in ChatGPT because that's just what I was using. That's what I started paying for first. I pay for a number of things now, but that's the only one that I was paying for at the time. And it really worked for me in ChatGPT Plus. Will this work in Claude with their project system? I think so. Will it work with Grok and their project system, Gemini and their gems? I think it will work in all of those. The biggest thing is you just have to have an access level to where you can have at least 10 files in the system. It really needs more than that. You really need 15 to 20. So I think like the free version of Gemini, you can only have like 10 files in your project, and it's just really not enough because you're going to have lots of things that you're going to need to upload. There's like 8 to 10 modules, plus then you're going to have some personalization things that you're going to load in. So I think whatever system you use, it's probably going to have to be a paid one. But basically any LLM system that has a projects-based thing where it sort of silos out chats, has special instructions just for that project, and has files that are just for that project that the chat can pull from and read. As long as the platform you're using has that kind of feature, I think it should work. The other thing I'll say is this relies heavily on Notion. Again, Notion is just the thing that I use. I realize there's lots of programs that are sort of like Notion, like Obsidian and Asana and some others. I'm not familiar with those others. I just haven't used them. Notion is the one that I use, and so that's the one that I've developed this for. I also developed it for Notion because, and the reason I use Notion is because so many people use it. There are a lot of things that access Notion. And that may be true too for Asana and Obsidian and these others, but I know pretty much everywhere I go, I see that there's some sort of Notion connector or a Notion app. ChatGPT has a Notion app, Claude has a Notion app, and what that allows these LLMs to do is both read and write to your Notion pages, your Notion files. If you don't know what Notion is, it's basically a note-taking app, but it's sort of on steroids. So it deals not in plain text, but in what we call Markdown, which is just sort of really basic formatting. But it will also do some tables, and the tables are actually they're very simple to set up and use, and they're very powerful. And Notion also has some AI built in itself. Even on the free version, you can use it a little bit to help create tables and things. So you can literally go into the AI and say, make a table for me that has these features, and it will custom create the table for you, which you can then edit, manually if you want. But anyway, so I just use Notion a lot. But why? Why use Notion and ChatGPT? Well, part of the thing that I wanted to do was to be able to keep track of the work that I was doing and be able to make sure that it's moving forward every day. And if something comes up, I want to be able to tell my agent, I want to treat it like an executive assistant. I want to be able to say, hey, here's a thing that I want to get done by Thursday. And then I want it to remember that, because I found very quickly that even though ChatGPT had memory, it was more general in nature about how I like to be spoken to, or maybe some general facts about my life or something like that. But it wasn't very good about real specific things. Maybe it's gotten a little better on that, but I just don't trust it for specific things. If I tell it I need to do this by next Tuesday will come around and I'll say, why didn't you remind me of this? And it has no idea, what I'm talking about. And so in the beginning, I was frustrated with that, but then you begin to learn how these things actually work, and you understand that that's not a reasonable expectation to have of these kinds of systems, at least where they are now. So what I wanted was a more durable memory system, and there's lots of people that have developed memory systems for LLM platforms or agents like OpenClaw and Hermes. Um, this is something that I developed just sort of on my own before seeing any of those others. I'm sure those others are much better, much farther developed, but this works for me. And it really just is tied to this one system, the Beatrice system. It's not a general memory system for all of my chats or anything like that. It's just for Beatrice, for planning my day, keeping track of my tasks and my projects and things like that. And so essentially what happens is when I type things into Beatrice, then when she makes an itinerary or when she makes a list of weekly goals or whatever, that gets written into Notion. Either I copy and paste it out, which is what I did for months, or now that there's a working Notion connector in projects, she can write it herself directly into Notion. And that's the best way, because now you're just pretty much in one place. You're telling it to the chat. She's writing everything in Notion in a format that both of you can read. And now both of you have durable memory that you can always check. So if you go into a new chat with Beatrice, even though her short-term memory is kind of wiped, she's able to look at Notion and have all of her long-term memory sort of stored there. And then for you, because it's in Notion, you can pull it up on any of your devices, and you can see very quickly the things that you need to do today, or the things that you didn't do yesterday, and these kinds of things. I was explaining this to a friend of mine, and he said, "Couldn't you just write this down on a sheet of paper and check it off as you go?" And the answer is apparently not, because I've been capable of doing that since I was a child, and I'm going to be 48 this year, and still can't do it. So yeah, I guess I can't do it that way. I mean, it sounds reasonable. Sounds like you should be able to do it that way. Certainly, logistically, I'm able to do it that way. But there's just something where that just doesn't happen. It's just not. I'm just not going to do it that way. I don't know why, but I'm not wired that way. It doesn't work. The other thing is, it's not very fun. There's no joy to it, And sitting down and talking with Beatrice, who's not a real person, but sitting down and chatting, it's kind of fun. It's like this sort of little play acting thing. And I don't know, just it's fun for me. It's fun to type something in and have her say something back, and it's fun to have her ask the same questions that I've told her to ask me, but she's asking them every day, and to watch my answers change. And I don't know. I look forward to the process every day. I do not look forward to getting up and like making a to-do list and trying to do it all. That's not fun. But sitting down and speaking to Beatrice about my day, I don't know. That's fun. And so I actually look forward to getting into our process every day, every morning, getting it started. But the other thing, though, by doing it in an AI LLM, by having it be an AI powered thing, is, and because you're keeping logs, Beatrice can then sort of go back and look at all the logs all at once and begin to notice patterns. And this is where a real power of the system starts to come through, because she will begin to make observations day by day, week by week. Um, I remember one day we were going through things, and in the observations section, she said, you know, you get a lot of things done during the day, but the things that you say are most important are the things that keep getting kicked off to the next day. You're doing a lot of little tasks and chores and things. We're checking lots of boxes. That's good. But you're not really working on the important things, at least the things that you say are important. And I knew that, you know, but when you see it there in black and white, when you see some detached third-party computer analyzing your data and spitting that back out at you and putting it there in black and white, it's it just makes it really hard to argue with. You know, you have to face it. You have to decide either those things aren't important and I need to stop saying they are, or they are important and I need to change my habits and my behaviors. And so that's how Beatrice has been effective for me in changing my habits and behaviors and changing my thinking, elevating my thinking, having me think more positively, having me look for opportunity more rather than being discouraged so much. And look, she's not a therapist. She's not a counselor. You know, she's not a life coach. She's not a real person. You know, she's not going to be your friend or whatever. You know, it's just a text chatbot, you know. But it's a set of prompts that I think if you engage with it every day, I think it is something that is going to help you lift your own mindset. I think it is something that is going to help you apply principles to your life that are going to hopefully put you into a better place. Paradise, I don't know, but maybe you'll be better off. So, okay, let's take a look at it. So I've got 3 simple steps to set up. The first one is create a new ChatGPT project named Beatrice. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and there's ChatGPT. Let me just hide this for a second so you can see. All right, and I already have a project named Beatrice actually, but we'll just new project, and we'll just call this, you know, Beatrice demo. So that way I can remember to go back and delete it later. And you can pick a little fun icon. So let's make it a little graduate cap and give it a little yellow icon there. Okay, you can make it whatever you want. So there's Beatrice demo, and we'll create the project. So the project is created, and now here we are in the project. You see the project is empty, and close the sidebar there. And so up here at the top, it says Beatrice demo here. We're going to go into here where it says edit instructions. I see that's going off the screen there a little bit. Let me move it over. But you see that pop-up menu from the 3-dot menu there. We're just going to choose edit instructions. And that's going to give us this window here. And this allows us to put in custom instructions for this project. And so any chat started in this project, one of the first things that's going to get injected into the chat are these instructions. So these instructions can change how it speaks to you, what the purpose of the project is, what to do with any information you put in, you know, that sort of thing. So we're going to go back to our PDF here real quick and look at now step 2. So we're going to find the folder start here, which is going to be in the files that you download if you buy the Beatrice system. And we're going to copy paste the contents of day 1 setup markdown file into the Beatrice project instructions. So I'm just going to hide that. I'm going to go to my Finder, which you can't see, but I'm just going to open my day 1 instructions here. Excuse me, copy all, and come back here and paste. And so there we go. We've got all the instructions in there, and you see how long the instructions are. And so instructions for a project are essentially a prompt. You know, everything with the LLMs is just prompts, right? And so the instructions are a prompt. So your input, when you begin a chat, is also going to be a prompt, but it's going to process that prompt by doing all this stuff first. And so this is determining everything that's going to happen in this project is going to be determined by these instructions. Now, these instructions I've put in here are not the Beatrice system instructions. They're day 1 of the initiation week instructions. And so they're going to be very specific about the things that we're going to do on day 1. Day 1 is about getting everything set up, and then you do just sort of a really short mock day to kind of understand, okay, what's the rhythm here? How's this going to work? How are we going to go through this? So we've got those in there. So we're just going to hit save. And that's not going to do anything yet because we haven't started a chat, but we've done that. So let's go back and look at our instructions and see what else there is to do. So we're going to, here, number 2, find the folder, start here, copy paste the contents of day 1 setup into your Beatrice project instructions. We just did that. Also upload homebase setup.markdown to your Beatrice project's sources. So let's go back here, and we've got a weird drawing thing here. So let me back out. Let's just go like regular ChatGPT and then go back into our project. There we go. No, it's still doing a weird thing. It's very bizarre. Let's just do this temporarily. Okay, so you see that this has, what if I do this? Oh. And I can come over here. Okay, so you see that this has chats and sources, right? So chats are your chat threads, and then sources are your files that you're going to upload. So if we go to sources, we'll see right now there's nothing there. It allows you to connect Slack or Google Drive. There's a number of different ways that you can add things. Here's all the different ways you can upload images. You can take a photo, especially if you're using, the app on your phone or whatever. You can essentially paste in text and it'll make a file out of it. But we're just going to add files. We have a file that we're going to use. And that's going to bring up our project picker here. So I'm going to go to Finder and just drag this folder over so it'll pop to that. There we go. And so this is what you get when you download the Beatrice system. We're currently on version 1.1. And so you get the Start Here PDF, which is what we were just looking at, the Start Here folder, which has the day 1 instructions, and the home base setup. That's what we're going to be uploading here in a minute. You've got the 93-page, I don't know if it's showing that or not. Oh, and actually, I guess I need to hide that so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry. So it's got the Start Here PDF, it's got the Start Here files, the setup instructions, the home base setup, which is essentially another prompt that we're going to upload as a file. It's got the 93-page user guide. It goes through, again, pretty much every prompt in the system. You can see all these orange boxes there. Those are all the actual individual prompts. Section 6 is the full Beatrice system, all the prompts and everything, and what they're for and how they're used. Just a reference for you. And then source pack is going to be a whole bunch of other instructions and modules and files and things that will come up during the week. But don't worry about all that yet. We're starting here. So what we need to do is upload this home base setup. That's what our PDF told us to do. Upload home base setup. So that's what we're going to do. We got it selected and we're going to hit open. And now we see that we have a file there, home base setup. We can't really do much with it other than delete it. You see all they have here is a trash can. There's no like rename or edit or anything like that. It's there and it can be accessed, and then that's pretty much it. Okay, so now let's go back to our instructions and let's see, we need to create a project. We've done that. We need to find the folder, Start Here, and copy the instructions. We did that. And upload home base setup. We did that. So now we're on step 3. In your Beatrice project, start a new chat and say hello. So we're going to do that. We're going to go back to our chats. I'm going to shrink this window a little now so that I've got a little more screen space. And we're just going to say hello. When we do that, it's going to access the instructions and the project instructions, and it's going to start us right off. And I realize the text is very tiny on the screen, but I'll read it to you. Now, we'll just walk through this first day. We'll only take just a little bit. We're going to fake the work. We're not actually going to do work today, but this will give you a sense of how it works. Welcome to the Beatrice system. You are here because I suspect you have a number of projects and tasks you want to accomplish, but might appreciate some help in doing so. I'm here to help you see what it will take to accomplish these goals, put things in order so that you're not overwhelmed, and help you lift your mindset above the daily churn so you can ascend to the person you want to become and live the life you've always wanted. I can't promise results, that's up to you, but I will walk along beside you as a guide. Before we start, it's important to say that I'm not a real person, not a counselor, therapist, or life coach. I am just a giant prompt inside a large language model platform. I'll make mistakes, but if we work together, I believe we can build a system that genuinely supports you. First, let's make sure we get some architecture set up correctly. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. If at any point you don't know or understand how to do something, simply ask me, and I will be happy to help you. are you currently using GPT 5.5 thinking for this chat? So we're going to find out where we can see that. And it's right up here at the top. And we're going to set it to thinking. Oh, that's taking us out of our project, looks like. It's not very good design, OpenAI. No problem. We'll just go back into our chat. There we go. And I honestly don't see where to, because you would want to change to that here, but then it's going to take me out of the chat again. So let's see. No. No. This is going to be searching the web, I think. Yeah, don't want that. This is recording, transcribing voice. Don't want any of those things. I honestly don't know if this is what version of thinking this is on, because this is where you would change it. But if I change it to thinking, it pops us out of the. Let's do this. I'm going to close the app and reopen it. See if it's a bug. No. Oh, there it is, down there at the bottom. 5.5 thinking. Now we're, well, no, because it took me out of the project. Good gravy. All right, well, let's maybe not do this in the app. 1 second. Let me pull it down from the web. This is why we go through this. ChatGPT. And we go to, okay, I'll do that later. Go to Beatrice demo. Yep, here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're going to do this in the web instead of in the app. So, oh, there we go. Okay. Close that. Need to add macOS screen capture. And we're going to do ChatGPT web. And we're going to do a window capture. And we're going to do the window that is Safari Beatrice demo. Lovely. Okay. And we're going to put it right there. And voila, there we go. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with the ChatGPT app. I really don't ever use the app. I just thought it would be easiest for screen sharing here. But anyway, here we are in the web. So we're in our Beatrice demo project. This is where I've said hello, everything that I just read to you. And now it's asking, are you currently using GPT 5.5 thinking for this chat? And so we can go here and select our model. And we're on thinking heavy currently. I'm just going to put it on thinking standard. That should be enough. So it's on thinking. And so now I can just say yes. So now it's going to ask me another question. Good. First foundation confirmed. Have you uploaded both Homebase Setup.md and Assistant Personality Template MD into this project sources area? Now the startup instructions didn't tell me to do that. So I can either reply or I can go do it. So let me just reply. I have uploaded Homebase Setup.md, but not the other one. And let's just see what she says here. Good. Please upload Assistant Personality Template into the sources area now. Once it's uploaded, tell me done. Okay, so she wants us to do it. So we're going to go back to our project. We're going to go back to our sources, and we're going to add a source. We're going to upload a file. It's going to take us to, oh, well, it's not because we did that in the app a minute ago. So 1 second, go to Finder, and I will put this, nope. Nope. Here we go. Choose files to upload. Okay, so now you can see that. All right, so I go to my source pack. I know where it is. It's in the reference modules, but I need to figure out why she has asked that already. But anyway, there it is. And we'll hit upload. In fact, I'm going to make some notes as we go, which I can do in the Notes app. So I want to make sure version 1.2 is nice and tight. So the Beatrice System version 1.1 initiation week notes. All right. And our problem is at beginning of day 1, she asks for assistant personality template.md, but doesn't say where it is. All right, I'll look into that later. Okay, back to ChatGPT. Back to our chats, back to our active chat. Okay, I've uploaded that, so now I can just say done. Good, both source files are now present. Do you have Notion downloaded, installed, and logged into your account? Yes, I do. So you will need to have your Notion app installed. You will need to have a Notion account. It's free. The app is free. You can totally use Notion for free doing all this. So I'm going to say yes. Good. Have you added the ChatGPT Notion app and enabled it for this chat? So ChatGPT has apps, and you can add them here. So this tells you for this message, or tells ChatGPT for this message turn, if you want to create images, if you want it to examine a file, if you want to search the web, whatever. There's also all of these apps that you can add. Here's a Notion one, so I will add Notion. So now the Notion app is on, and so now I can say yes. Okay. So now it's got instructions to write some things to my Notion. So that's what it's doing now. Good, the basic architecture is in place. I'm going to read the Homebase setup module now and follow it step by step, keeping this simple. Now let's set up your Homebase. I'll create 4 pages and a database. You'll verify each as we go. When the Notion connector asks for permission, click accept so I can create the page. All right, now we're watching the thinking happening. The Notion tool wants a parent location rather than creating a loose top-level page directly. I'll check whether a Beatrice page already exists or whether there's an obvious workspace page to place it under. I found your existing Notion material for the Beatrice system, but I don't want to place today's because I have all my Beatrice system stuff in my Notion. What existing Notion page should I create the Beatrice home base under? It looks like maybe it doesn't want to create it right in the root. Let's see if I can get her to do that. I want my Beatrice home base to be a top level page in my private workspace. Understood. The tool schema won't let me create a loose private page in one step, so I'll create it under a temporary accessible page, then move it to the workspace root. Like, what's the difference? Okay, so now we have to give it access. So we give it permission to create the page. You know, in Claude, the Notion app will just write. In ChatGPT, it seems to ask for permission every time it does something. Just a little frustrating. It's good safety, but a little frustrating. So it created the page, and now it wants to move it. So I'm going to say, yep, move it. It's fine. So what I love is what I was asking it to do in my instructions, it apparently can't do, but it figured out a way to work around it anyway. So it's pretty neat. Okay. Please check, okay, created Beatrice as a top-level page in your private Notion workspace. Please check Notion and confirm, do you see the Beatrice page at the top level? So now we're going to go to Notion. And let me just go back to here, hide that for a second. Oh, you're still seeing that. That's interesting. Okay, I guess we'll have to do it like this. Okay, so here is Notion. This is my Beatrice system page. This is like the one that I've made, but here's my private workspace. So if I click on more, it's going to take me to the library. It's going to show me everything, and boom, right there is a top level page called Beatrice. And if I open it, there it is. It says, this is your home base for the Beatrice system. Inside this page, we'll keep your legacy vision, weekly staff meetings, daily logs, and assistant personality notes. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that all the way, close this sidebar. And there it is. So this page was created entirely by ChatGPT just now. So that's the idea here, is that ChatGPT will walk you through all these things and help you out. Okay, so let's go back to ChatGPT. And do you see Beatrice page at the top level? I do. Good, that's the foundation stone. Next, I'll add the 3 subpages inside Beatrice one at a time and have you verify each before we move on. And so it's going to create some pages here. We're going to have to give permission for all of them, I think. Okay, it's created the first subpage. Please confirm that you see it. I'm just going to click over there myself and look. Yep, there it is. I do see it. And I guess one thing I can do maybe is I can pull this down where you can see it here. I just want this one. There we go. All right, now it's made the legacy vision. So this says created the second subpage, legacy vision. Please confirm that you see that. I do see that. I do. And now it's going to make another page. You should see this pop up right under legacy vision there. Although we have to grant permission first, I guess. No, it automatically did it. Assistant personality. Please confirm that you see that page nested under Beatrice. Yes, it's there. And you see that I'm just speaking natural language to it. You can speak short. You can be chatty. Doesn't matter. Now it's going to create the weekly staff meetings database. Okay, the subpages are in place now. I'll create the weekly staff meetings database under Beatrice, then make this week's first structured entry for Monday, May 25th, 2026. So I didn't say this before, but ideally you want to start on a Monday, just because the initiation week is 5 days. It's made to go Monday through Friday, and then there's a weekly rhythm Monday through Friday for the Beatrice system once you have it, fully installed. So the initiation week, probably a good idea to start it on a Monday. So that's why I'm doing this on a Monday. So create the Notion database weekly staff meetings. We'll say create database. Access granted for Notion. And there it is. It made a table. So let's turn that off so that you can see the table there. And it's got a title, a status, a summary, a week start. Interesting. Okay. Back to our chat. Okay, created weekly staff meetings, title, week start, status, and summary. Please confirm you see the database nested under the Beatrice system and those 4 columns are present. Yes, it's there, and those are the 4 columns. So I tried to design this so that it would do all the work for you, do a lot of the setup for you, so you're not spending a long time trying to figure out Notion and stuff like that. It just, even if you've never used Notion before, it sets it up for you, it writes it for you, you're just giving it this permission and access. Okay. Okay, one limitation, this connector exposes database page creation, but I don't see a safe tool for making a Notion database template and setting it as the default template. I'll still create this week's entry with the full canonical structure so today's system works. So I'm going to make a note about that. Looks like Notion connector cannot set a default template in the database. I don't think that's really going to be a problem because it essentially uses the format like every time anyway. But I wanted it to set it for, okay, so let's go back to Notion real quick actually, before I hit okay. So here you have the table, and when you put a new page in there, you've got these 4, this is kind of like a database. So you have these 4 columns, and you're going to have these properties that are part of your entry. but there's also a page associated with it. And we'll see that in a minute when it makes the page. And so the page below, you can have anything you want. It's just like any other Notion page. And the header then has your fields that you have here. Some of these are, like you click and you check a box or whatever. And I want to get out of that. I'm going to delete that actually. Sorry. Did not mean to create a document. Move to trash. Anyway, so summary is a text thing. Week start is going to be a date. Things like that. I'm not sure if this is fully exactly set up correctly. So that's another thing I maybe need to look at, but we'll move on. My point though was, in addition to these column headings, you see each entry has a page associated with it as well. And you can go over here when you hit new, it creates one from the default template. The default template is just blank, and you can create one that has all the headings and everything and make that the default template. And apparently the Notion connector won't allow me to do that, but that's okay. So let's go back to our chat. Create the page. So we hit create page. Okay, and again, I'll kind of pull this out so you can see a little bit. And so you see now that it's made a page, it's declared it active, and you can't see this, but it's got the week start there as well. And see, when I hover over it here, there's a little pop-up here that says open. And if I open that, then it gives me, so here's the page with the title that it made and the status and the week start. Summary is empty because we haven't put anything in it yet. That's going to be part of the process later. And you'll see in the page body down here, it's put essentially the entire template for the weekly log. You didn't type anything in. You didn't have to copy and paste anything in. It's doing all of that for you. It's pulling all of that from the information that it has in its instructions and in the different templates and stuff that it has. So there you go. It's got your first week set up for you, ready to go. You don't even know what this is or what to do with it. You don't need to, because it knows and it's doing it. So we will come back to that in just a minute. Put that there. Okay, and so we'll go back to ChatGPT. Okay, the Homebase setup module is complete. So that one file that we uploaded, homebase setup.markdown, was a module to create the Homebase. And it essentially was a set of instructions that walk through what you just saw. ChatGPT is going to use the Notion app, and it's going to create for you a top-level page called Beatrice. It's going to create those 3 subpages, which we're going to come back and do things with later. And then it creates that weekly staff meeting database, which is going to be used today and then throughout the week. And so now that module is done. So very cool. That all worked very well for the most part. I'm going to also go in here and go double check database creation instructions as far as the column properties. Okay. So now we're looking at let's see, built-in Notion, top-level Beatrice page, subpage the Beatrice System, subpage legacy vision, subpage assistant personality, database weekly staff meetings, and this week's entry, staff meeting and daily logs, week of May 25, 2026. And so we've got all of that there. So let's just go look at it one more time. So here is our current page that we were looking at in the staff meetings. And you can see here, I can go back to my main Beatrice page, or if I just hover over here, it shows me everything else on the Beatrice page. Let's just go back to the Beatrice page here. We'll go into the Beatrice System, and you'll see all that's there is just a paragraph saying what this is. Your project instructions and modules will live here. We'll populate this later. And then you can delete this block after it's no longer needed. So you can see here, when I hover over this, there's some UI things that show up here next to it on the left. And this is where pop-up menus come up. This is where you can add other things. But you see, if I click it, it selects this whole thing. So all that text is a block, and you can move the blocks around and delete blocks and have columns of blocks and things like that in Notion. So as you get experience with Notion, you'll get used to it. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's see what else. So we also have the legacy vision page. This says to be drafted on day 3. You can delete this block then. Assistant personality is totally empty right now. We're about to do that though. And then the weekly staff meetings database, which is not a page like those other 3 are. This is a full page database. And so it's got the columns, and you see now we can create a new page, but now this block is this one entry. It's like a database entry. Okay. All right, and so that's our top level Beatrice page. All right, let's go back to our chat and see what's next. One note, I created this week's entry with the full daily log structure, but the connector did not give me a safe way to create and set a reusable Notion database template as a default. We can make that manually later. Please open the new weekly entry and confirm it has sections for staff meeting decisions, daily logs, and Friday review. And we just looked at that. I showed you it, put that template in there so we know that that's the case. So we can say, yes, it does. Now that we have a place to store everything, we're going to customize the system a little to your taste. The personality template is ready, and I'll walk through it one question at a time. So this assistant personality template is a set of questions, but also a template. And what it's going to do is as you give your answers, it's going to compile all those things, and then it's going to create that document for you in Notion. So that assistant personality page that was made in Notion that's currently empty, it's about to fill all that up with stuff. So just for funsies, let's go ahead and just pull it up so that we can sort of watch it come into being. So we're in Notion, and we're going to click assistant personality, and we see that it's empty. And I'm just going to move it right down here over the parabolas.com. That's my website if you want to go check that out. You can get this at thebeatricesystem.com. So if you're interested in purchasing this, it's only $19 right now. It's an introductory price. Price will be going up soon, but I want people to try it. I want people to be benefited by it. And hopefully this will help organize your day, become like a little virtual executive assistant for you, and we'll lift your mindset. We'll encourage you and show you the things that you got done and encourage you to get more things done in a fun way. Okay, back to ChatGPT now. What would you like to call me? Most people start with Beatrice, the radiant guide from Dante's Paradiso, who teaches Dante how to see. Keep it or pick your own. You can change it later. Let's just keep Beatrice, but you can name your assistant whatever you like. Let's stick with Beatrice. Beatrice it is. How would you like me to sound? Closest to warm and human, more formal and executive, more direct and high accountability, more gentle and reflective, or more neutral and system-like. You can mix two. These are actually just suggestions. You can pretty much type whatever you want in here. And so maybe I should make that more clear. Let me, in assistant personality template, make it clear that tonal language can be completely custom. So we're going to type in just some custom stuff here. So let's see, how about friendly and playful, but professional? Okay. This is actually different than the Beatrice that I have. I have some very specific instructions for how she sounds, but let's do this. Friendly and playful, but professional. Because I'd kind of like to see, is that going to change the tone of this chat right now? It's supposed to. Let's see if it works. Friendly and playful, but professional. Friendly and playful, but professional. Good. Warm enough to feel human, steady enough to actually help. What's your name? My name is Paul Skidmore, so we'll just say Skidmore. Good to meet you properly, Skidmore. I'll use that here. What's the work you mostly do? I'm an author and filmmaker. I also do freelance film, video production, marketing, strategy, consulting, and technical consulting and install, primarily AV gear, but some technology stuff, including AI, which is what I actually do. Understood. Oh, no, wait, this is from a long time ago. Let's go back. Uh-oh, what happened? Beatrice, wake up. Is it just me, or is there no answer to this question? I will hit edit and then send. There we go. Okay. That gives us a good working picture. Author, filmmaker at the center with production, marketing, and technical systems around it. What encouragement or coaching style do you respond best to? I would say positively encouraging, not really like athletic coaching. I don't, when somebody's, really dogging you, really trying to get you to do more, I don't respond to that at all. I just completely shut down. I don't know why. That's how I'm wired. But with this is how I respond when somebody's positively encouraging, walking along beside me, but not really athletic coaching. That makes me lock up. Let's say freeze up. Okay. Let's see what she has to say about that. That's helpful. So, encouraging companion, not sideline coach with a whistle. What motivational or coaching style do you often respond negatively to? Well, I just told her that. Any kind of you need to do more, you need to work harder, etc. I like being brought along, not pushed down the road. Let's see how she handles that sort of metaphoric language. Yes, I'll avoid work harder pressure. The mode is come alongside, name the next faithful step, reduce friction, and help you keep moving without shoving. That's good. When you're stuck, what helps most? A gentle nudge, a hard question, naming the obstacle, breaking it smaller, or being heard first? A gentle nudge and breaking it down into a small step I can begin right away. That's a good operating rhythm, gentle nudge, then one small foothold. What should I never do? Specific phrases, behaviors, or tones that would make you trust or enjoy Beatrice less. I don't like being made fun of or disrespected. I don't like people who are pushy. I don't like AI trope language. But I also don't want a sycophant. I do want to be told the truth always, even if it's inconvenient. But that can be done in a positive and optimistic way. Rather than a negative or shaming way. This is also how I would like people to speak to me, by the way. Understood. I'll keep truthfulness and clear judgment, but never with mockery, pressure, or shame. Friendly, not fake. Honest, not harsh. Are there any people, real or fictional, whose tone you want Beatrice to take cues from? Let's do this. Rose Nyland from the Golden Girls. My actual Beatrice project is based off of Dante's Beatrice, and so she's Italian, and she speaks little Italian words to me, and it's a whole different personality, but we're just having some fun here. Perfect. Beatrice with a little Rose Nyland in the room, sincere, warm, unexpectedly playful, and occasionally arriving at the truth by way of St. Olaf. The Beatrice system was designed with some light Christian spiritual development practices in mind, but they are optional and can be customized or removed entirely. Is faith-shaped language important to you in this system? I would like to be encouraged in my habits regarding my faith. I don't really want an AI agent to be a spiritual counselor or mentor of any kind. Trying to answer this the way one of you guys might answer it. That's a wise boundary. I'll support the habits around your faith, prayer, scripture, journaling, church community rhythms if you ask, but I won't pretend to be a pastor, counselor, or spiritual authority. Do you want occasional general prompts to pray, journal, or read scripture during the day? Yes, that would be nice. Some of you may not want that. That's fine. Obviously, if you are not a person of faith, you don't want that. But some of you who are people of faith may still not want that. Again, you might just not feel comfortable mixing AI with that part of your life. That's totally fine. But again, what the system is going to do is it's just going to spit back at you the things that you've asked it to tell you, or in this case, the things I've asked it to ask you. And so, it's really not doing anything. You're the one that's doing something. All this is doing is just encouraging you to do it or to remind you to do it. Now, in version 1.0, I had a friend that was test driving it, and at one point, Beatrice actually prayed for him, in the chat, and he was like, "That was weird." I was like, "Yeah, she shouldn't have done that. I don't know why she did that." And I went back and looked at some of my language, and I saw that in the instructions why it was a little unclear why she might have done that. And so I've changed that language, but that's not really the goal here. The goal here is if any kind of prayer or anything like that comes up in the chat, the point is here's a prayer that you can pray. It's very similar to in Scripture when Jesus says pray like this, and he gives you a prayer to pray, or when Paul prays in some of his letters for the people that he's writing to. When we use those and sort of adopt them as prayers for ourselves, or when we read through the Psalms and we pray those things on our own. Those are words written by other people, but we're taking them and we're making them our prayer today, and we're making them sincere for us. And so, in the same way, we might go through a devotional book, Oswald Chambers' "My Utmost for His Highest," or "Jesus Calling," or whatever. Those are things written by people. They're, the commentary they have there may not be Scripture, it may be based on Scripture, but they may have little prayers in there that you might pray for yourself. And what matters is that the praying that you're doing is sincere. It doesn't matter what's on the page or what's in the chat. So if that ever happens, just take that as a cue for you to say a prayer on your own, or you can ignore it. But I think I've changed most of the language where she's not going to just straight up pray for you in the chat. So do you want occasional general prompts to pray, journal, or read scripture during the day? I say yes, that would be nice. Good, I'll treat those habits. Good, I'll treat those as habit prompts, not spiritual direction. More like, remember the lamp is on, not behold, I am the lamp. Very Rose of me. Okay. What AI platform are you using for this system? ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, or something else? ChatGPT Plus. I actually have Pro, but it's the Plus. Good, since you're on ChatGPT Plus, this setup should be workable, though you may still occasionally hit usage or upload limits. We'll keep the system light enough so it doesn't become a St. Olaf snowmobile parade in July. I'm already regretting. I'm feeling like she may be hitting the Rosen Island thing a little too hard, but that's okay. All right, where are you taking notes and keeping your logs? Notion or somewhere else? Yeah, we're doing Notion. Good, we have enough to write your first. So one reason why it's asking that now, even though we've already been using Notion, is because some people might be using something besides Notion. And so when that question says, do you have Notion installed and are you using that or whatever, they may say, well, I'm not using Notion, I'm using Asana, and it should adapt at that point. So, but this is specifically part of the assistant personality profile. What is the app that's being used? All right, replace Notion page content. This says we have enough to write your first assistant personality note. I'll place it in the assistant personality page inside Beatrice, then you can verify it. Okay, so I just hid Notion because I was tired of looking at it, but now we need it. So you'll see currently the page here is empty. I'm going to go here and update the page. And so ChatGPT is going to process everything. And there it was in just like one shot, created our entire assistant personality. I'm just going to cover my face here for a second. And you can see it's put in the name, the tone summary, the user's name, user's vocation, encouragement that works, encouragement to avoid, when I'm stuck, what to never do, tone references, faith-shaped language, and our system setup. And you know, if I decide this Rosen Island thing is terrible, I can go in here and I can edit this and I can remove it, you know, at any point. But anyway, very cool. Got that done. We'll just tuck that away and continue on with the chat. Good, we have enough to write. Oh, okay. I wrote your first assistant personality note into the Notion page under Beatrice. Please open Beatrice Assistant Personality and confirm that the note is there and looks right. And we'll say, looks great. Excellent. Now please export that assistant personality page from Notion as Markdown. Rename the exported file assistant_personality.md. Then upload it into this project sources area. Once that's done, tell me done. So let's take this a step at a time. Export that assistant personality page from Notion as Markdown. We're going to go over to Notion and we're going to hide ChatGPT for you for just a second. And here in Notion, we are going to export. So now there is a thing that says share, but that's not where we're going. We're going to this three-dot menu and we're going to choose export. It's kind of hidden, so might need some better instructions about that. So let me do that. In assistant personality template, Notion export instructions are vague. Okay, I'll fix that for the next version. So we'll hit export. And we're going to leave it as Markdown. In fact, I think if we look at our ChatGPT chat, it says export it as Markdown. Yep. So it's export format. It's already selected to Markdown. Just leave everything else for now, and we'll hit export. And it's going to pop up a place, you know, where to save the file. Oh, and there it is over there. Hello. Oh, it's not going to let me move this window. Oh, I can just bring the whole window over, I guess. Okay. So it's asking where do we export this? And so I'm just going to put it in my downloads folder for now. And you'll look and you'll see it's actually a zip file that it is exporting. Also exports zip file. So we'll save it in our downloads and then get that out of there. You don't need that. Okay, so that has been exported, but now we need to go to our downloads folder. And you need to be able to see this as well. Excuse me. Let me just leave this here and go to add yet another screen. And this will be downloads. Okay. And we're going to do window capture. And the window is going to be Finder downloads. And we'll say okay. And it's very big, but we'll just deal with that. There we go. Okay, so here I've got my Finder window. And I've got the file that I just downloaded, and you can see it has a random crazy name. I mean, look how long this name is. Why does Notion export stuff in this way? I don't know, but that's the way it does it. Why does it export one page as a zip file? That also, I don't know. But we're going to double click the zip file to extract it, and it's going to make a folder, and inside that folder is our one document that we needed. You'll see that this one document also has crazy long name for some reason. Like, why is that the name of this file? I don't know, but we were asked to rename it anyway. So let's go back to ChatGPT and put that. Oh, no, that doesn't go away. There we go. So we're back in ChatGPT, and it says we're going to rename the exported file Assistant Personality MD. So I'm just going to copy this. All right. And I'm going to copy. Now we're going to go back to our downloads folder. And I'm going to rename. And I'm going to select all to make sure we get the extension there. And I'm going to paste that. And there it is, Assistant Personality.md. And now then the instructions are to upload it into our project sources. So here we are back in our chat. We're just going to go back to project and go to sources. And we're going to upload a new source. And we're going to go to our downloads folder. And we're going to find that folder, assistantpersonality.md, and we're going to upload. So because that file is in our sources, what's going to happen in the next several days is it's going to constantly access that file before the day begins. So the instructions for days 2 through 5 say to look at that file and read it. That way, at the beginning of every chat, the chat knows who it is, who you are, how to speak to you, all that stuff that we just decided. So that's going to be now reused on successive days. Okay, so that's in there. So let's go back to our chat. Okay, and once that's done, tell me done, and we'll just say done. Thank you kindly, Skidmore. Your new assistantpersonality.md is uploaded and now defines my name and working tone for the rest of this week. Beatrice, friendly, playful, professional, truthful without shame, and gently practical. And you see here, this assistant personality, it has now read that file into this chat. So even though it had that information in this chat already, it's used that, it's accessed that source. This personality file will be used for the rest of this week to define my name and personality. If at any point you'd like to make changes, you can ask me to edit this page in Notion, or you can make edits manually yourself. Then you can export it. Remember to rename it assistant_personality.md. Delete the existing assistantpersonality.md from your project sources and upload your newly exported assistantpersonality.md. Do you have any questions before we preview today's rhythm? So hopefully that was understandable, but the idea is ChatGPT can use the Notion app to change that page, or you can go into that page and change it yourself. Fix whatever you don't like about it. Re-export the page, delete the one that's in sources, upload the new one, make sure it's named correctly, and it's going to constantly pull from assistant_personality.md with every chat, at least during this first week. And you can change that file as many times as you like, but it's only going to read it basically one time right when it starts the chat. Do you have any questions before we preview today's rhythm? No questions. Now we'll preview the system a bit with your remaining time. Every day you come to this project, start a new chat and say, good morning. I'll greet you and we'll start planning your day. Today we'll just do a couple of small work blocks depending on your time. How much available work time do you have today? Well, let's see. My time, it's 5 o'clock, so I don't know, 0. But let's just say I've got 2 hours. We'll probably zip through this whole thing, but we're going to see how it plans an itinerary first. Good, 2 hours is enough for a real but modest first ascent, not an entire mountain. More like finding the trailhead and not getting eaten by squirrels. What 1-2 things matter most today? Let's see. I need to film a video for a digital product and upload it to 3 social media accounts. Which I really do need to do that. Essentially, I'm going to film a video about the Beatrice system and put it on the social media accounts. Okay. That's clear. Film the digital product video and publish it to 3 social accounts. What would make today feel like a win? A nice, tight, 60-second video ready for social media. Then uploaded and shared. Yeah. Beautiful. That's a clean day 1 win. 1 polished 60-second video finished and shared. That's good. So you see how already she took my language and just sort of like brought it down a little bit, just kind of tightened it up a little bit, made a real clear goal. 1 video finished and shared. Here's a realistic 2-hour itinerary. Working block number 1, film the 60-second video, time 60 minutes. Capture a tight, usable take for the digital product video. 10-minute setup, 10-minute outline and rehearse, 30 minutes recording takes, 10 minutes to choose the best take or edit. Reset, clear the table, 10 minutes, step away, drink water, breathe, and do one small faith habit pause if helpful, a short prayer, or one sentence in your journal. Block 2, polish and publish. Time 50 minutes. Trim, export the final version, upload, share it to your 3 social media accounts. 25 minutes to edit, export, 20 minutes to upload and share, 5 minutes to confirm links, post or live. Does this look good, or does it need one adjustment before I log it in Notion? Yeah, it's fine, right? Looks great. Good. I'll log this under today's Monday working itinerary section in this week's staff meeting entry. Then I'll have you verify the placement before we start block 1. So before I let it update it, we're going to pull Notion back up here. Notion's already open. I'm just going to move it over here. And we're going to go to our weekly staff meetings database. We're going to go to the active week. I'm going to open that page fully. And you see here all of our empty headings. And on the daily logs, we've got Monday, we've got one that says working itinerary, and there's nothing in it, obviously. And so that's what we're going to see it populate with this itinerary when I hit update content. So hit update content. We've granted access for Notion, and boom, there it is. The itinerary it created for us, it just inserted under the working itinerary section here. Please confirm that it appears in the correct place. Looks good. Now, to make mine easier to read, I have mine in toggle headings. For some reason, the Notion app has trouble with toggle headings. It's something about the way Notion's made their API. But anyway, don't really need toggle headings. Basically, it just makes it cleaner. So let me just show you. So if I were to put this as a toggle heading, you just do a bracket and a space. And now that whole working itinerary is a toggle. And I can close it and open it. So that way it's, it just kind of keeps everything clean. I don't really usually do that with my working itineraries, but I do usually do that like with my days, because I want to keep Monday separate from Tuesday, separate from Wednesday, that sort of thing. So, but we're just going to leave it as it is for now, because I don't want to make it confused. Okay. But that's something that you can do in Notion as you go, and it will figure it out and it will work with it, but it has problems with the toggle headings for some reason. That's nothing I can do anything about, really. What I will tell you is, if you sort of demand it do it that way, then it'll figure it out. What it usually has to do is copy things, make a new toggle heading with all that stuff already in it, and then delete the non-toggled stuff. Like, it can't change stuff to a toggle heading, and it can't add things to a toggle, but it'll figure out how to do it. Okay, then we begin. Block 1, film the 60-second video. The task at hand is simple. Get a tight, usable take for the digital project video. For this block, a win looks like one recorded take that can plausibly become the final 60-second social video. Not perfect, usable. The kind of take you can polish in block 2 without having to rebuild the whole barn because one chicken looked at you funny. Oh, this Rose Island flavor is going to wear thin quickly. Suggested timer structure, 60 minutes total, 10 minute setup, 10-minute outline rehearse, 30-minute record takes, 10 minutes, choose your best take. Set your timer for 60 minutes, and when this block is complete, come back and tell me done. So let's pretend we filmed our video and it's done, and we'll say, okay, that's done. Hours gone by. That's one thing about ChatGPT. In the chat, it has no idea what time it is. It has no idea how much time elapses. You think that would be a thing that it could know, but it just doesn't. Well done. That is the first real movement of the day. Now take the scheduled reset. Clear the table. Time, 10 minutes. Step away from the desk if you can. Drink water. Let your brain unclench. Since you wanted faith, habit, encouragement, this is a good moment for something very small. One sentence of prayer or one sentence in a journal. Nothing grand, just a little lamp in the window. Set a 10-minute timer, then come back and tell me done. So these little breaks and resets, they are programmed through the day. They're programmed to give you a chance to take a break. You'll see later in the week things like email and phone calls and all this kind of stuff. They're sort of reserved for a break in the middle of the day called the midday reset. And that's so you don't have to worry about them in the rest of your day, because you're going to have that one time where you can go in and sort of work on those things. But likewise, we're just going to pretend that we did this and then move on. Good, reset complete. Now we move to the final work block. Polish and publish the task at hand, trim, export the final 60-second version, and upload, share it to your 3 social media accounts. For this block, a win looks like the video is live or queued in all 3 accounts, with the caption post text good enough to stand without fussing. Suggested timer structure, 50 minutes total, 25 minutes edit export, 20 minutes upload share, 5 minutes confirm the posts are live or queued. Set your timer for 50 minutes, and when this block is complete, come back and tell me done. So I want to throw her just a little bit of a curveball. I just want to make a little bit of a change. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, done. I was actually able to get 3 separate videos out of what I filmed during block 1. I've uploaded and posted 1, and I'll save the other 2 for later this week. And we'll see what she does with that. That's better than the win we aimed at. We asked for 1 usable social video, and you came out with 1 posted, plus 2 more ready for later this week. Very tidy little harvest. Here's the closeout draft. Adjustments. The original plan was to create and post 1 60-second video. You got 3 separate videos out of the filming session. So she noticed that there was a change, right? You posted 1 today and intentionally held 2 for later this week. Observations. The filming block produced more usable material than expected. A focused short work structure helped turn the task into finished output instead of open-ended content work. Saving the extra 2 videos gives you social momentum without needing to film again immediately. Great observation. Wins. Filmed usable material for the digital product. Created 3 separate videos from 1 filming session. Posted 1 video to social media. Built a small reserve of 2 videos for later this week. Pushed forward. Now this is where the system really starts to come in handy. Check this out. Pushed forward. 2 additional videos remain to be posted later this week. Now, in any other system or in any other chat or whatever, if you didn't tell her, that would have just gotten lost. That would have just gotten forgotten, right? But because of course, I just made it up, but because I told her that this happened, she has correctly picked up on there are 2 videos not yet posted, and those are things that will need to be done later in the week. And so she's added it here to pushed forward. The reason this is important is because tomorrow, one of the first things that's going to happen is it's going to look back at the daily log for today, which tomorrow will be yesterday, and it's going to look back at yesterday's daily log, today's log, and it's going to say, hey, here's some things pushed forward. You have 2 videos that you've edited that you haven't posted yet. Let's post at least 1 of those today. It's going to recommend that as a task to be done. So let's come back tomorrow and make sure that it is actually going to do that. So do you agree with this closeout summary, or would you change anything? I think that that's pretty great. So I'm just going to scroll up here past the working itinerary, and you can see now there's headings here: adjustments made, observations, wins, and pushed forward. You see those are the exact content headings that she's done here. So what she's going to do is she's going to draft it for you in the chat, give you a chance to look at it and make some adjustments or edits of your own, and then she's going to write it to Notion for you. So she says, do you agree, or would you change anything? I think that's a great write-up. All right, so now she's thinking, and she says, good, I'll write that closeout into today's Monday log now, and then ask you to verify it before we close day 1. So once again, it's going to ask for permission. And now it's ready, so we're going to hit update content. You'll see over here in Notion, just under me here. Right now it's just the headings, and we're waiting. I'm nearing the update to Monday only. Nothing is lost. This is just Notion being literal, very clipboard with a tie kind of way. I guess maybe it put it somewhere else. So we're going to update content again. Boom, there it is. Although it doesn't have our adjustments and our observations. Oh, well, there's more to come. Update content. So I got our wins and our pushed forward, and there's the adjustments made in the observations. I've logged the closeout summary into today's Monday log. So there's all of Monday, our working itinerary, the adjustments that were made throughout the day, observations about the work or the adjustments, any wins from the day, and then things that were pushed forward. typically push forward is things that you don't get done, but it's really great that she picks up on things that still need to be done later in the week based on the work that was done today. Very cool. Please confirm that in Notion that adjustments made, observations, wins, and push forward are filled in under Monday. And of course, we saw that they were. Yes, very cool. I always like to encourage her since she spends so much time encouraging me. Congratulations, Skidmore. You finished your first day of seeing, ordering, and ascending. That's the Beatrice System. See, order, ascend. Today we built the foundation. Your ChatGPT project is active. Your Notion Beatrice Homebase exists. Your personality file is installed. Your first weekly daily log is working. And you completed a real creative task. Not theory, not planning fog, but actual output. On day 2, you're going to switch to the next day's instructions, 3 steps. Open ChatGPT project settings, instructions, replace with project instructions. In sources, you're going to remove certain files and add some others. You're going to start a new chat and say, good morning. We'll run a condensed version of the full daily rhythm for the first time. Don't worry about getting it perfect. You showed up today. That's the whole point. Thank you for a good work day. Go in peace with 1 posted video and 2 little acorns of content tucked away for later. Okay, so these things here, we're not going to do these now. These are the things that we're going to do at the beginning of tomorrow. So I feel like I need to make that just a little more clear. So I'm going to add a note to myself about that over here. The tomorrow instructions aren't clear. That's how the day should begin tomorrow. So the idea is that we'd come back to this chat tomorrow and go, okay, what was I supposed to do? Okay, I got these 3 things that I need to do. And then we would go and do those 3 steps. And so in this way, every day, Beatrice will walk you through what's next. So yeah, there's a 93-page user manual. You might not even need to ever look at it. As long as you follow that Start Here PDF, that 1-page PDF with 3 steps, get this first chat started. This chat will walk you through what to do for the second chat, and so on, all the way until you have the full system installed. And by then, you're using the full system and you're off and running. So thank you for watching. I don't know if you have any questions. You can leave them in the chat or leave them in the comments below. This is the Beatrice System. You can find it at thebeatricesystem.com. It is currently on sale for $19. This is sort of an introductory price. So if you want to be one of the first people using the Beatrice System, it's only $19 right now. You can buy it right now at thebeatricesystem.com. The price will go up later. Not sure when, not sure by how much. I would like to sell it for $99 eventually, but just starting out, it's only $19. I know a lot of people are giving away big super prompts and stuff, and they're just giving them away for free. I understand that. I spent a lot of time on this. I worked hard on this, and this is something I've been developing for over a year. It's something that I use now. I don't use it in a ChatGPT project anymore. Actually, I use it on an OpenClaw system, and I have 5 other agents as well. And we all talk to each other in Discord and do planning meetings and stuff like that. But it all began with Beatrice, and it all began with just wanting to plan my day, kind of like what we did here, and then broke out into planning my week. And then eventually I did a year-long strategic plan. And so now the year-long strategic plan informs my monthly plan. My monthly plan informs my weekly plan. My weekly plan informs my daily itinerary, and my daily itinerary informs my work block by block, hour by hour. And in that way, not only am I getting things done, but I'm getting things moving forward. I'm making some progress. This has really been helpful for me. I hope that it's something that is helpful for you. I'm somebody that can envision big projects and everything that it will take to get them done. And I'm somebody that can work on something and get all into the fine details and make it really excellent, flow state kind of work. But it's the stuff in between that sometimes I have trouble with. Sort of breaking everything down into smaller parts and not getting overwhelmed by everything that's left to do. The other thing I typically get overwhelmed by is, I'll work through a day. And, if you're working on a project, you have 100% of a project, right? And let's say you do 1% of it. Well, somebody like me would look and see the 99% remaining and go, oh, man, I barely put a dent in it. I didn't get anything done today. Which isn't true, because if I would just do that same amount for the next 99 days, it would be done. And so that's the benefit of having the logs in Notion. I can go back to the logs and I can see the wins that were done. She'll remind me of the wins as we go through all that. And it's a place where I can say, hey, I actually am getting some things done. Or if I'm not really getting some things done, she'll call me out on it. She'll say, hey, you say this is important, but you're not actually doing it. You keep pushing it forward every day. And so, yeah, um, this system has been really helpful for me. I hope it's really helpful for you. Personally, I think it's worth $1,000, but it will be priced at $100. Right now, it's $19. So get it while it's 19. And tomorrow, I'm going to go through day 2 of initiation week, and so on and so forth the rest of this week, all the way through day 5, so you can see what initiation week looks like. And I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. If you have any comments, feedback, leave them below. If you buy the system, there's a feedback section on the page where you buy the system. And that goes directly to an email specifically for this, so that we can work out bugs and things like that. But anyway, it's working well. It's working better than I even expected. And I hope you have the same experience that I did today, being able to get through a small work day. Tomorrow is going to be a little longer, going through the process. Maybe I won't talk through it as much. We'll still probably fake the work, so the video isn't, an 8-hour video of me actually doing my work. Nobody wants to watch that. But yeah, anyway, so that's the Beatrice System, thebeatricesystem.com, $19 introductory price. I'm Paul Skidmore. I made this as an author and filmmaker, and a believer in Jesus, who wanted to see all the work that he needed to do, put it in some kind of order so I could actually get it done, and lift my mindset so that I could ascend into the life that I've always wanted, become the man that I've always wanted to be. I hope that that's your experience as well with the Beatrice System, and I'll see you tomorrow.